Welcome back to another episode of the Cast Patrol podcast. You're joined as always by myself, Mick, Jimmy, and Age. This week, it's the fourth and final installment of our NRL 2025 team season previews. Age, which teams are we covering this week?
So today we're going over the Eels, Roosters, Broncos, Warriors, and Tigers. If your team's not there, go back in the past episodes and hopefully you enjoy.
All right, let's get started with the Parramatta Eels. So we'll go through their recruits and their departure. So they've brought in Zach Lomax, Isaiah Yongi, Dean Hawkins, Josiah Papali'i, Jordan Samrani, Josh Addo-Carr, and Ronald Volkman. And then for departures, they've lost Ethan Sanders, Blaze Talangi, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Clint Gutherson, Kai Rodwell, Momosia, Micah Sevo, and Matt Arthur. So mix bunch there. What do you reckon about Parra this year, boys?
It's a fresh new squad. They've cleared a lot of players that have been there for a while, like you got Campbell-Gillard and Clint Gutherson and Sevo. They're also bringing in exciting players like Zach Lomax, one of the hottest outside backs going around at the minute, Iongi and Josh Addo-Carr from the Dogs. I really like Parra's recruitment strategy this year. Only thing they're probably lacking in that recruitment is probably someone for their front row and forwards after losing Campbell-Gillard, but all round, great signings.
Yeah, and they've also got Jason Rolls coming in as well.
Yep.
Plenty of experience, he's come through good systems, Melbourne, Roosters, to name a few. So what do you reckon Rolls will bring to Parra, Age?
I think just a new strategy, like obviously with Arthur, they made the grand final but never won under him. So a fresh start was needed. As you said, great experience out of the Storm system. So I think Rolls will be great. He's got a lot of great players, great spine there. Halves of Brown and Moses, incredible. Probably lacking a hooker. They got hands there at the moment. That's probably their weakness I can spot out. But overall, I think like Lomax is going to be great for him. Iongi, he's the player that could go either way. A lot of potential there. But I think it's going to be a good season for Parra.
They're throwing him in the deep end, aren't they?
They are. They're really, they had Blaze Talangi there. Like they got rid of Blaze, pretty much Blaze for Iongi.
Or Clint Gutherson.
I mean, when the swap with the Panthers,
sorry.
They invested, they must think Iongi's better than Talangi.
Yeah.
Well, from all reports, he's an absolute gun.
Yeah,
but we only saw
Blaze,
one game of him.
Yeah, we saw what Blaze did at fullback though. He was great as well.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew they were going to lose Gutherson before they got rid of Talangi, but I'm keen to see how that unfolds. Let's go over their past performance. So, 2022 they came fourth. They had the GF loss to the Panthers.
Yeah.
2023
slumped to 10th, and then even worse in 2024 they're 15th.
And they were in the Spoon Bowl, so they could have come last. I think Jason Rolls brings a lot, in terms of the defensive structure and the way they set up. We saw under Arthur, especially last season, they had the worst defensive lapses in the comps. There were times where a 10-minute period would equal 3 or 4 tries.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be happening again. He's going to come in, try and bring that Melbourne Storm system. They're training their house down, that sort of vibe. I think AJ touched on it as well, hands at hooker, but I think that's their only weakness in their pack. You've got 2 strong front rows, Offa and Gowie and Barlaw. The back row, you've actually got a handful of problems that you can pick from. You got Sean Lane, Tuolangi, Madison, Cartwright. There's options there for Jason Rolls, whichever way he goes. And that lock, you got Hopgood.
Yeah, Hope could come back from injury.
Another signing I don't think we mentioned was Jack Williams. He's another big inclusion. Well, he's a great middle forward. So they lose Campbell-Gillard, so they do get Jack Williams to fill a bit of a void. And young up-and-comer.
Saw that he's been training the house down. He's been added to the leadership squad.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Huge.
Good raps.
Yeah.
So, he's one to keep an eye on there.
But in terms of everything else, I think they're remember Parra, they were always we need an X Factor player. They were looking to get rid of Gutho. And I think they've delivered on that promise. We've got Iongi, Fox, and Lomax as new signings. And then you've got Penasini on top of another season in the NRL. I think he's third. Then Dylan Brown and Moses. So there's plenty of X Factor there. My thing is how quickly Iongi turns up.
Yeah.
Because fullback's so important. And if they're not performing, everyone's going to immediately just jump on him and say, they don't have a fullback. They need to try something else. But
and I think what they lose in Gutherson is the talk in defence and that leadership, mainly in defence.
Yeah.
I know he was getting a bit slow towards, the last... He had so many injuries last year, Gutherson.
His knees are done.
Yeah, he was done. But Iongi, he'll be good in attack, but it's more defensively I'm worried about. But other than that, I think... the only thing that worries me is Dylan Brown's partial ACL tear. Because we saw what happened with Sam Walker. Touch wood doesn't happen, but I don't know how much that thing's hanging on a thread.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
Like it's gonna go. It has to go soon. Yeah. So that's what worries me. But if I had to do a prediction for this year, I think they're going to shoot into the 8, but not high up. I think they will hang around that 7th, 8th spot. They could slip out to 9th, 10th, but I think it'll be a good year overall for Eels if everyone's fit.
I think the thing in Iongi's favour is there's not a lot of pressure on him. Like he's got Brown and Moses to, sort of lead him around, and then he can just come obviously out the back and, do his thing. So, I'm excited to see how he goes. And I think we saw how lethal Lomax was in the air last season with Hunt. Add that to Moses' kicking game. Like, I think they'll form a pretty deadly combo. Like,
has there been any reports where Lomax will play? Because if he's on the right with Moses, that'll be a good target.
Combo. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But then Penasini was right last year, so I wonder what they do.
Was pretty solid.
I wonder where they put him. But I think Lomax doesn't want to play on the wing, so I'm keen to see.
Is he a better winger or a better centre?
He's an Australian winger.
He is.
We haven't at centre. He wasn't.
I don't think we've seen the best of him at centre, but I think he's a centre.
And that's why I think he might play right, because that right flick pass that he loves.
Yeah, that he does. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But then he's got to really he's got to be selective with those flick passes.
The good thing is, I guess, let's say I think he'll kill it at centre. I think he's a great centre. I think he's even better winger. But like if it doesn't work out at centre, he can go play wing. And like AJ said, he's an Australian winger.
Yeah,
so there's no loss there. I'm predicting them to miss the 8. I've got them 9th to 13th. Just on the back of, I think their starting lineup is very strong. There might be one or two that iffy, but I don't know if the depth's there, especially in their back line and the spine. Like as you said, if Dylan Brown and Moses go down,
they got Footy Dean now.
They got Dean Hawkins. Yes, I agree. Dino's
Footy
great.
Dean's waiting there,
but
they lose Sanders.
Considering how much Para rely on Dylan Brown and Moses, it's tough.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose like Iongi at fullback. I'm not sure how much replacement they have.
You might even see Lomax go fullback if Iongi goes down. He doesn't perform. That's an option.
That's another.
It's not like he's played a bit of fullback for Dragons. He doesn't want to be on the wing, so I feel like he wants to be centre or fullback. Lomax.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mick. I think I've got them just missing the 8th, so somewhere in the region of 9th to 13th. I think they'll definitely improve from last season. But it's just a matter of how, like you said, I think the lack of depth. Especially if a key player goes down, like we saw Moses was out pretty much most of the year last year, and they didn't do that great. So as long as they're all on the park, I think they'll be okay. But I've got them just missing the 8.
Yeah, I just think if those halves do stay fit, that's an elite combo, one of the best combos in the comp.
Yeah.
So I think that alone can get them into the 8, especially if they get a bit of form and their forwards are going well. People like Hopgood and Jack Williams are playing well. So I'm backing him in the 8, but I wouldn't be surprised they just miss.
There's a lot of good teams. We've touched on it before. They always start. There's so many options, and after the first 5 rounds, you can rule out half of them. Boom players. I'm going Penasini. I think we've seen his first year in the NRL was great. He was a great centre. I think he went to like just a little bit better level last year. Like still had his moments, but this year especially with Moses Brown, like you said, fit potentially. Like a new centre side for him, left or right, whichever he goes. I think I'm backing him for a bigger season. So Penasini's my boom player for the Eels.
I'm going to go Iongi, the fullback. I think there's not a lot of pressure on the kid to perform. They've sort of thrown him in the deep end, but obviously if he didn't have the ability, they wouldn't be doing this. So they obviously see a lot of potential in him, and I think he'll go really well. For Para.
Yeah, I do like that pick. He's got a lot of speed, footwork. Hopefully he has good ball work and then can set up his outside backs. I'm going to go with Hopgood. I think he had a bit of a quiet year last year. Had a back injury that was lingering. I think he's had surgery now. I think he's going to be the real leader in that pack. Campbell Gillard's gone. Someone's got to step up, make the big runs, offloads, tackle all day. I think, Hopgood's their man in the
Origin
pack.
Player.
Origin standard, so... Yeah, I'm going to go Hopgood to go to another level this year.
Yeah, like it.
So there you go. Just recapping. I've gone 5th to 8th. Mick and Jimmy's gone 9th to 13th. Jimmy's Boom, Iongi, Mick, Penasini. I'm gone Hopgood.
All right, next team, we've got the Sydney Roosters. So we're going to go through their departures. This might take a while. First one, Joseph Suoli'i, Warrior Hargraves, Joey Manu, Luke Keary, Satili Tupanua, Terrell May, Michael Jennings, and Lewis Murphy off back to St. Helens.
Gee, some big names there.
Huge names.
Hopefully they're getting a lot
Roosters.
of players in for that,
And
right?
then their recruits, Chad Townsend from the Cows. Big Chad guy.
Anyone else?
That's all.
Wow.
That's a lot.
So you're giving away all that star power, Suoli'i, Manu, Kiri, May, Hargraves, Tupanua for Chad.
Big Chad.
It's a lot to process, eh? It's a lot.
It is a lot.
If you're a Roosters fan, there's a lot of positives in the squad, which we'll get to, but we'll talk about the negatives first. And losing, let's say, Warrior Hargraves, massive loss in its own. You lose probably their best forward, enforcer throughout the years. Joe Manu, best back.
Massive.
Outside
One
back.
of the best.
Then you lose Kiri and half. It's tough enough. Then you lose Terrell May, who was the replacement for Warrior Hargraves.
I think that was the killer.
It's tough,
because he
man.
just re-signed.
And Suoli.
Yeah, and Suoli. Because Terrell May just re-signed, they lose him, and he was their best middle,
Yeah.
you'd say, last year.
Yeah.
Like, so much impact
Him
off the
and
bench.
Lindsay for sure. But like,
Yeah.
he was set up to be, all right, Terrell, last year we'll give you 40 minutes, maybe 35.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to be playing these bigger minutes because we know you have the capability.
55, 60
And
minutes.
Whatever happened at the Roosters, but the way it happened, I don't think any Roosters fan has been happy with the decision. They've all sort of sat back like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know what's
Huge
happened.
losses. But in saying that, look, you look at their forward pack, though. They've still
It's
got
still great.
Spencer Leniu, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, Nat Butcher, Victor Radley.
Connor Watson, hooker.
Connor Watson and
Cheese
hooker.
to come back.
It's essentially a representative forward pack, bar Nat Butcher.
And that just, I guess, emphasises the faith that, Robbo and the club has in these players, right?
Yeah. I feel like they're going to struggle around Origin when most of them are playing Origin.
That'll be
And
tough.
then if there's injuries,
Yeah.
then you go to their bench with Egan Butcher, Nafua White, Sua Wong, Dilla, Selly, Va'a.
There's
Yeah.
still
Like,
some players.
They're all right, but it gets a bit skinny.
It does.
So I think their depth is going to test them this year.
Yeah.
They still got Teddy. They
Bit
got
of
Dom Young there.
experience. Yeah.
Centers maybe Toya Smith, Marky Mark.
Yeah.
And then at the moment, it's Chad and Sand at the start of the year before
Sam
Walker comes
Walker to
back.
come back, yeah.
So he expected like near Magic round 10-ish,
I think so.
something like that. They might hold him back to maybe.
What's the yarn with Manu might come back this year anyway?
Yeah.
That's halfway through.
I reckon they've got a bit
I
of
think
caps.
the Japanese rugby season ends in June or July, around there. So
Right.
they're trying to keep a spot open for him to come back. And then in doing that,
Okay.
because he's come back,
Well, like a loan.
no, I think his contract,
Well, they only
he's
have to,
done.
like the season's like done.
so they'll
Yeah.
pay
So-
half a year or something.
Yeah, and the way it works in the NRL is their season starts in November. So if he's missed November to June, that's 7 months off his contract. So
Yeah, wow.
let's
Okay.
say that's 7 months out of 12. You get Manu at 45% of the price.
Like 400K or something. Something like
maybe
that.
less.
Yeah, maybe less.
Maybe less.
Yeah,
Whatever you
right.
So
value
it's a bit of a
Manu at.
scam.
Yeah.
If they're in that 8 and he comes in and gets added to the squad, that's a big boost.
That'd be huge.
The thing with the Roosters is you can't write them off because you look at their last 3 years. They came 6th. They went to elimination final against South. 7th, lost to a semi against Storm, but no one was being Storm that year. And 2024,
Except
the
Panthers.
third. Except Panthers, yeah. And then prelim to the Storm.
Yeah, so Storm's their hoodoo team in finals. But
Yeah, they don't like it.
6th, 7th, 3rd. I do see him slipping. I think they're going to miss the 8 this year, boys.
Miss the 8.
I think they're going to miss it. Just.
Yeah, right.
Not going to surprise me if they slip in, but I think they'll miss it because I just see other teams improving.
Yeah.
I think Broncos will improve. I think Souths will improve. I think Eels will improve. And I see a team like this losing gun backs and Suoli and Manu, 2 massive forwards,
Yeah.
Hargraves, May, and Kiri, their little general, and with Walker out for half the year and Brandon Smith out for half the year. I just think there's too much they've lost. I just like other teams better.
Walker was the big one, I think, that really hurt, not only for their finals, but their chances this season. It's 10 weeks out without your halfback. Lucky they did sign Chad.
Yeah.
At least it's some experience to cater for the relatively inexperienced centres of Smith and Marky Mark.
Or Toya even. I don't
Yeah.
know which way they
Toy,
go.
I know there's a lot of people
talk about
banking
him.
on him. I know. I haven't
Yeah.
seen enough of him to know.
Yeah.
I heard he's a weapon. I hope he's a weapon just for their sake. But the good thing with Roosters is there's upside in the back line. Like Sandon Smith, when he came in, he was relatively
Pretty much Sam Walker.
from
Pretty
Wish,
much,
eh?
yeah.
Walker from
Looks,
team.
plays the same way. Yeah.
Dom Young's had a pretty underwhelming season and was still great.
A
Yeah.
lot of tries.
Billy Smith, I mean, untapped potential. After every time you think he's back, he just just gets injured or there's a setback of some kind. And Marky Mark, I mean, his debut was phenomenal.
Potential, yeah.
Exactly. We don't know what he's going to do in rugby league. I think he'll be a gun.
Yeah.
But it's just time for the Roosters. Because if they're waiting on Sam to come back and they're sitting outside the top 8, they're going to have... And then, like Age said, Origin comes around, they lose half their pack. They're going to have to really hope for a good end to the year.
Yeah, I think they got to start well. If they start well, they'll get a few players back. Might get Manu back later in the year.
Yeah.
But that's the key, yeah.
I think they're too good of a team not to make the 8. So I've got them slipping to around like 5th to 8th.
Yeah. If you had to choose exactly where they're going to finish, what would you say? I reckon they'll
just sneak in like 7th or 8th.
Yeah, right.
Just sneak in.
I'm the same as Jim, 7th or 8th.
I think they're just too good of a team.
I think 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, around that mark. But I'm just leaning towards the lower.
Like Robbo's a good coach and, you know, there's still a lot of experience. You've got Teddy still there. That, like we said, that forward pack is still strong.
Good forward pack, yeah.
So they've got good go forward and then, you know, Teddy on the back of that with, you know, some X factors like Toya, Dom Young, Billy Smith, all those guys.
Safe as houses.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I've got them just making the 8.
Yeah, it'll be interesting this year. See how far they slip. We all think they're going to slip, but the question is how far will they slip?
Who are your boom players?
Do you want to start, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've got Robert Toya. Yeah, so we spoke about him. I think it's tough to come back from back-to-back ACLs, but yeah, they've touted him for a long time to be a good player, and you know, from what I've seen, he looks like a gun. So hoping he's ready to go, and I think he'll add a lot to that much needed backline for the Roosters.
Yeah.
I'm going Spencer Leniu. Not much of a boom player, but I think if Roosters are going to go through teams like they have been in recent years through the middle, they're going to need someone to step up for Warrior. Lindsay is Lindsay. There's no one to, like, he doesn't have to replace anyone.
Yeah.
Spencer's that man. I think that has to step up. I love him off the bench, but I think he needs to start and maybe take some of those earlier.
He's probably one of the best bench players, though.
So good. His impact off the bench.
Like, I know I've heard like William Mason, everyone say it doesn't matter where he's playing. Like, he's a beast no matter if he starts or bench. But I do think they're going to miss a lot of that impact because no May on the bench now, no Leniu.
So would you start White and then have Leniu off the bench?
If I was coach, I would.
I don't mind.
I think I like Leniu off the bench. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just seen how good he is off the bench.
If you're a tired middle,
even Origin,
and you see Leniu come on, like you just...
For me, I like Leniu off the bench, but I feel like with Roosters' team and what they need, they need a strong pack and core, especially when their backline's relatively inexperienced apart from Teddy and Tubes.
I think they're going to experiment it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, I think we might see him on the bench like round 4.
I think so.
My boom play, I'm going Walker 2.0, Sandon Smith. I think he's the man that's going to lead him around for the first 10 rounds until Walker's back, his twin brother. But yeah, we've seen a lot of positive signs from Sandon. Good little kicking game, good passing game, good running game, good support player. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential. And I was gonna go Connor Watson because he's so good out of dummy half. Like, but then he'll probably go back to I don't know when Cheese comes back what they're gonna do. But yeah, I think Sandon or maybe Watson will have a great year.
And just for those following along at home with the trials, there's good battles this week at the Roosters. White and Spencer both start, and you got Sandon and Chad both starting in the halves, so you can see that look. And you got Rob Toya starting in the centres. No Billy Smith, so don't know what's happened there. But
hopefully he's not injured again.
Hopefully not. Between Marky Mark and Rob Toya, there's like one NRL game of experience. So they really need one of them to fire, and I'm banking on maybe Rob.
Yeah, I'm keen for the trials. I'm keen to put some like nice tips up on Dabble. We've been putting a lot of racing tips, but now NRL season's well and truly in. I think we should get the futures bets up. You know, we're gonna have tips. We're gonna have Gnocchi's tips up there, our tips, value picks.
And Dabble's super easy as well. The way it works is you place a bet, and if you go on someone's profile, you can go on the Cast Patrols. You can read the description. If you like it, click copy bet. Within 2 clicks, you can place your bet.
Put your stake in.
If it's a 4-leg multi, you don't have to go select each leg. You can just literally click one button and bang, you can copy it, put whatever you want and write it home together. Comment, descriptions.
Fancy channels.
And we just hit 30,000 followers on Dabble. I know. So there's a lot of people following us. So there's pressure on us, but we also don't put random tips up because we don't want to fuck over the 30,000 followers.
I like putting up tips that will win, and when it wins, it's a good feeling. Everyone's on it. You know, it's got 50 odd copies and everyone's hit a multi together. So, yeah, if you want to join us, link is in our description.
Or you can use the code CASTPatrol, CASTPATROL. It's super easy, like H said. Link in the description. It's in our bio as well. Or use the code when signing up.
Yeah, best tip, though, set a deposit limit. And, of course, gamble responsibly, guys.
All right, the next team we're going to do is the Brisbane Broncos. So 2025 recruits, so they got Hayes Perham and Ben Hunt. And then their departures, they've lost Tristan Saylor, Jordan Pereira and Corey Oates. Recent finishes, 2022, they came 9th. 2023, they came 2nd, losing to the Panthers in the GF.
Everyone remembers that one.
Probably should have won that one.
And then they came 12th last season. But they get Madge this year, so how do you reckon they'll go, boys?
Bit of a yo-yo for Broncos, isn't it? Missed the 8, nearly win a GF. Missed the 8, maybe then nearly win a GF. They got Madge now. Yeah. Great coach. Very successful coach.
Yeah, if Madge and this squad somehow doesn't make the top 8, it'll be one of the greatest mysteries in rugby league history.
100%.
If this doesn't work.
One of the best teams on paper.
Yeah.
You throw in a coach like Madge.
And he's had success everywhere, Madge. Took St. Helens to their first win in few 10 years plus. South's first win in 40 plus years. And Blues
last
were
year
literally nowhere.
Yeah.
Except the Tigers, but he got him to 9th, didn't he? So
and then they
better
went
than the
three spoons. So to his credit, he was probably holding them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only question is, can Madge have instant success? Like, there's no doubt that if they don't do anything this year, their windows do not close next year.
When is Hunter Reynolds retiring?
But then they might lose some
Reynolds
players.
is close, I reckon.
I don't know.
His body is like hanging on a thread.
Yeah.
Just.
You know?
Benny Hunt.
Yeah, well, they don't lose any starters. They get Hunt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's big.
Pretty good. So you do. I think we all see him going in the 8, right?
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
just how far will they finish? But let's go over their team lists. So you got Walsh at fullback, absolute gun. Wingers, we're thinking Cobbo and Arthurs.
Yeah.
Centers, Mariner and Stags. Great back 5.
Picks itself,
Yeah.
really.
Oldest halves pairing in the comp with Hunt and Reynolds, but great experience, great king game, running game with Hunt, great passing game. I think Carrigan will go front row with Haas. 9, we're thinking Moser. And then
It's a plethora to pick from.
And then lock will be Hetherington as they reported. And we're thinking Gajewski is rumoured
he's
to
in the
start
mix.
over Piakura in the second row.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then
he's
Ricky as well.
come in, just had a bit of a shake up and said, you know what, I'm not. And he gave Gajewski's debut at South back in the day.
Did he?
So full circle sort of moment for him.
Wow.
They have the depth as well. And obviously the one that people keep typing on about is Ezra Mam comes back midway through the year looking like Ben Hunt shifts to hooker.
Then that spine will be
What a spine
contesting
that is.
Melbourne's, right? Walsh, Ben Hunt at hooker, Hunt and Reynolds and Mam.
Yeah.
Good spine.
It's a very good spine.
And like the pack is crazy as well with Haas and Carrigan. And the strike power of Cobbo, Stags, Mariner even like
that's what I was going to say. The strike power that Broncos have.
They've got weapons everywhere.
Ridiculous. Like even their wingers like Jesse Arthurs and Cobbo's now shifted there. Cobbo's going to go to another level on the wing there when his role's just gotten a bit more easier. He just has to put the ball down, do incredible finishes, hard yards out of his own end, all things that he's great at. My question to you, Jim, is Reece Walsh, last year, still made Origin, probably wasn't his best year out of his time at the Brisbane Broncos so far.
Yeah.
Do you think he can become a top 5 player in the NRL?
I think so. Well, the potential is definitely there. There's obviously a lot of stuff in the media about Walsh and how he goes about his business, but I love him. I think he's great for the game. He's obviously young and he's fiery and puts everything out there on the field. Obviously, there's probably patches in his game that he might need to fix up, but overall, if he puts everything together, there's no reason why he can't be one of the best players in the game.
He finished top 10 in errors in the competition in 2024.
And that's probably where he needs to improve.
That's, exactly. I think the only part of his game, once he sort of fixes that, because I think in the 2023 season when they were doing so well, an error didn't really mean too much.
Yeah.
But when you're within inches of a game and you're struggling to get points on the ladder, you can't keep making those errors because they don't come back in the long run.
Yeah.
So if he fixes those, he can go to that next level.
It's also a strength of his. He makes an error and he doesn't give a shit. He'll
just keep going.
He'll keep going. He'll throw a cutout, do an early kick.
Yeah.
He'll try something himself. For
sure.
So that's also working with him. Last year probably worked against him.
Yeah.
But if they're all humming, he'll make an error and he'll score a try after it or set it up.
And he's probably like those 50-50 moments where he probably shouldn't have thrown that pass.
Yeah, and he knows straight away.
And he knows he shouldn't have. But, like, you know, if those come off, like, he's a genius. So
yeah, or when they do, everyone's like, wow, Walsh, double cutout.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I think it's one of those players that it's going to happen time to time.
Yeah, and I think Madge will just let Walsh do his thing.
I think he'll let him.
And I think he's a player where you just have to let him.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got Reynolds and Hunt there.
Yeah.
Those two are the most like least selfish players that I've ever watched.
I'll give him the ball.
Does not even care other than team winning. And same with Ben Hunt. We saw he got 30 tries this last year or so for the Dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right. They're going to give him early ball and he'll do the rest near the line.
Yeah. Another thing. Oh, you go.
I was just going to ask, like, do you reckon Hunt and Reno in the halves, how that will go? Both halfbacks by trade?
He'll let Reno, because Reno is captain, right?
Okay.
He'll let Reno still run the ship.
Yeah.
I think, which is good for Hunt because it'll unlock his running game, which we know how good he is at running.
Yeah.
So, but I still think, you know, he's going to be organising his side of the field. They'll, yeah, but
I think clash in any way?
They might, you know, because they both like to be dominant.
Yeah.
But
I think they'll have their moments where they might clash, but I feel like Ben Hunt has a strong running game, so he'll save him as well, in a way. And Reno can do the kicking game whilst Hunt can almost do the orchestrator.
And another thing is, Mem's going to come back anyway.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if it's not fluid, they'll just put Hunt 9 and Mem comes back in.
Yeah.
And then lets Reynolds run the ship.
Stupid question, but let's say Broncos come out the season, whatever, Mem comes back round 9. Theoretically, Broncos are 8-0. Does Mem just walk straight back into that 6 role and you go, you know what, Hunt, your hooker? Like, what if Moses is killing it?
Yeah. 8-0, Moses killing it, he might have to be 14. And Billy Walters misses out.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think he walks straight in if they're killing it.
Yeah, it depends on how they start.
Yeah.
It's stupid to say because Mem was almost a Clive Churchill medalist in 2023.
Yeah, you're right.
And maybe match fitness, it might take him a few games, you know, maybe
Might play a few
Queensland
games in Cup.
Then he might go on the bench and then he might start. Or if they're struggling, they might put him straight in.
The good part is they have depth in their spine.
Correct, yeah.
So if someone does go down, they got options. Even Billy Walters on his days.
Who was the other hooker they were saying that was going to start?
Well, they've got Moser,
And
Walters,
there was another guy.
Pakes.
They
Tyson
reckon,
Smoothies.
they reckon Pakes might start. So they've got a few options at hooker.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Hopefully one of them jumps out of the ground. But I'm really interested in seeing Stags and Cobbo on the last year of their contract. I want to see what they do.
Do you reckon one of them's destined to go?
One of them's destined to leave, but I think one's destined to explode like Lomax did when he was playing for a contract.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're playing for like a 200K, 300K rise or potentially a drop, you know? So I think one of them will explode. I don't know who. They both could explode. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going off that predicted finish. I'm going the Broncos to finish top 4.
Yeah, same.
But
if you had to pick exactly where would you
I
go?
think the bottom of the 4, I'm going maybe 4th position.
Yeah.
They could slide to 5th. I'm just saying how quickly this whole new spine comes together and how quickly Madge can find that success. But if they hit the ground running, there'll be no doubt they'll be top 4 playing in the finals.
Yeah, I just love the Broncos team on paper, and you add Madge to the mix. Yeah, I've got them top 4 as well.
Yeah, definitely top 8. But if I had to pick top 4, probably around 3rd.
Yeah.
I think.
Probably.
First wouldn't shock me. Second wouldn't. 8th probably would if they dropped that. Well, it's still an improvement, but if they're only 8th, that would probably shock me. But yeah, top 4. What about breakout players? Who are we thinking?
Well, I'm going to go, hopefully he starts.
Boom players.
Boom player. I'm going to go Blake Moser. So, yeah, we've obviously seen a bit of him last season for the Bronx. So, hopefully he gets his first crack at the 9 jersey, and I think he's a good player, Blake Moser. We'll see a lot of him for years to come.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a bit tall for a hooker. On the field, he looks tall, but good running game, good service.
They've been touting Moser for a while
ages,
now.
yeah.
So,
for a while, yeah.
I think this might be his chance to finally get a crack.
If he starts.
and settle
you know?
And just playing behind like Hunt, Renault, Walsh, like he just makes his job.
The pack with Haas and Carrigan
Carrigan,
going
like,
forward.
he's got the
that
easiest
1-2
job
punch
on the
now in
field.
the front row.
Yeah.
And he's going to go quick play the ball. He's going to run.
Yeah.
He'll make 10 meters.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that. So yeah, good shout there. Mick, who do you reckon?
Well, you talked about it. Cobbo, Stags, one of them to go boom and explode. I'm backing Cobbo. They've moved him back to the wing, and I think that's his more natural position out of the two. You saw at Origin when he plays there. He can do those hard runs and carries, and that's what he's good at. And even just his pace, if he just gets on the outside shoulder and just burns him, he's got no doubt why he can't
How
be.
strong is Cobbo? Like
He's
his
so
bend,
strong.
his upper
Powerful
body
runner.
strength.
Yeah.
He can break tackle. That last game in Origin when nothing was doing,
nothing.
He just like broke through 7 tackles and nearly made a break. Like he's so strong.
Especially on the back of playing off Walsh, Hunt, and Reynolds. I like his height that they can kick to him now, and he's an aerial target. Whereas D Marin is still sizable and tall, but I think you get more out of Cobbo playing on the wing there.
Yeah.
And that's probably what
I reckon
Madge
Cobbo's
is.
like a smoky for like top try scorer as a bit of value.
Depending on how Broncos
if he's
go,
on the wing and Broncos are firing, he could score one and two
score
a
for
game,
fun.
you know, and he can score himself. It's not just a gimme try. I've got Mariner down on the sheet, but I'm going to change because I talked myself out of it. I'm going to go Stags. I think last year of the contract has really swayed me because you just want to play more. You're playing for money, you know. He's playing for an Origin jersey, so I think Stags will go good, especially with those halves and Walsh firing. Give him early ball.
The only thing that holds Stags back is his consistency at time.
Yeah, and he's like runs out of his own end. He doesn't take many. He waits for the ball to come to him, which has been like one of his flaws.
When he flicks that switch, he's one of the most exciting players.
100%.
Yeah, damaging as
Is it
hell.
you and Aiken or Matt Duff? Do one of them still got
I think it was Aiken.
PTSD from just getting
That
pumped
fan
off?
day,
Yeah,
steamrolled
Crazy.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. We all think top 4, Cobbo, Stags, and Moser for boom players.
All right, our second last team for the episode is the New Zealand Warriors. So looking at their departures, it's a big list. Adam Fanua-Blake, Jazz Tavanga, Marcelo Montoya, Sean Johnson retires, and so does Tohu Harris. So they lose a lot of experience
That's a lot of games
and a lot of leadership. Yeah, especially considering Fanua-Blake, SJ, and Tohu were at the club for a long time.
Yeah. Funny you say that. They lose all that experience, but they're still like top 5 on if you total the top 30 squads.
Yeah, exactly.
That post we did. So they got a bit of experience.
Very
still.
experienced pack. But in their recruits, I think they've recruited well in the sense that James Fisher-Harris, he's probably the only front rower, maybe with Payne Haas, that you could say
Offsets.
Right,
AFB.
offsets AFB, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect word from our
They
financial
signed Cleary
analyst.
as well. They signed Cleary from the Panthers, which is pretty big.
It's a pretty big sign.
Yeah.
Huge signing. Yeah.
Jet Cleary.
Jet Cleary.
Yeah. He
Still
he
untapped
trialled on the
potential.
weekend.
Aaron Clark from the Titans, I think, is a very underrated signing. Had some really good games at the back end of their season.
Yeah.
And I think we'll fill in at that
I think he's a
lock
perfect
role.
replacement for Tohu.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's good. A lot of energy, quick play balls.
Yeah.
And you can
aggressive
keep
player, good player.
in that situation now Dylan Walker at 14 where he excels off the bench.
Mm.
And look, they got Tanner Boyd, he was okay when he first burst on the scene at the Titans.
depth.
Probably didn't have his best season last year.
And Mick, I think you skipped over an important one, which may not sound important. Sam Healy. There was comments on all the Warriors pages. He's getting Dally M. He killed it in the trial. He looked good.
What position is he?
I think he's hooker. He looks sharp.
Nice.
So there's a lot of raps on him from what we see in the trial, but I don't know how much of a run he'll get.
Nice.
So yeah,
Okay.
a lot of promise there for the Warriors fans.
Only thing that is very concerning is they're a bit of a roller coaster club and have been for as long as I've probably watched them play. Just going off their last 3 years, 2022 they finished 15th. 2023 they finished 4th. They lost to the Preds, the Broncos, the Up the Waz movement.
Up the Waz movement. That was
huge.
massive.
And then on the back of that, team doesn't change too much. They come 13th.
That was
I think they were one of
They were disappointing last
they
season.
that was the biggest disappointment of 2024 with the Rabbitohs.
But I was going to say, if you didn't say South.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not unbiased in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just the inconsistency for me that outdoes some of their hard works and positives. But if we look towards their predicted lineup, we'll go to their back 7. Chancellor Klotz at fullback, Dallin on the wing, but he's now
He just got injured in the trial.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think Tua Picky might fill in there.
That- yeah,
let's,
right.
let's pretend that happens.
Rocco Berry in the centres with Leia Taha.
He's a big,
Leotau,
he's
yeah.
a big
Leotau
boy,
in
Leotau.
centres, and then
Huge, yeah.
Roger on the wing. So it's a solid backline. It's a lot of workhorse, probably lacking a little bit of speed, but still strong.
Yeah, a lot of good like power carries out
Yeah.
their own end and stuff there.
Especially Sheck, like on the wing, it'd be better for him. He can get the ball a bit easier.
He might
take
be like
those
a
yards.
Roma.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then in the halves, you got Tamari Martin and Luke Metcalf. We had
Metcalf
Luke
played well.
Metcalf on our pod, and he killed it in the trial.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
mentioned he wanted to get that 7 jersey. He was in a big battle there with like
Chanel.
Tamari Martin, Chanel, Boyd as well, coming over from Titans, and he's got that, it looks like.
Yeah.
And he really took it with 2 hands. He played good, kicked him mad 40-20. He looks solid.
Good player.
The
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
with Metcalf that stood out in the interview that we had with him is he said, people just assume that I'm a 5'8" or fullback just because I'm
Because
fast.
he has a good
Yeah,
run.
But he
yeah.
goes, I've been playing halfback as long as I can remember, and he thinks that's his best position, which is exciting
Yeah.
because that's what Warriors need in
Yeah.
losing SJ. They need someone in that back line to go from
Step up.
here all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And I think Metcalf's their man that can do it. And in the pack age, you're going to go through that monster of a pack.
Yeah,
it might change a
it's
little bit, but it's a monster
great
pack.
1-2 punch. Barnett and Fisher Harris.
Lovely.
Now,
One of the
co-captains
best.
for the Warriors.
They are co-captains. We were tossing. We didn't know who was going to get it, and they both got it.
got it.
Rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Deserved, yeah. Both plenty of experience there, representative players. Then you got Capewell and Laban or Niokore or even Valmugga, who was Sikafula.
Yeah.
That was his name
They
previously.
got some options in that back row, which is
Yeah.
handy.
Bit of depth.
Even
It's
Jackson Ford's still there. So, yeah, they got a bit of options there. And then Locke will probably go Walker or Clark.
Exactly. So there's a bit of room for movement in that pack, which is good. It's just where is that X factor coming from? And if it's not Metcalf, then who is it?
Yeah. I feel like, who do you reckon? I think Chance has to really take his game to another level. You know, score tries, set him up, run 300 meters like Keeney does.
He's one of the best ball runners, like in terms of yardage and meters, Chance. But just in terms of sometimes his output, like you can run 200 meters, but with no tries, no try assists, it's
I think
not as impressive.
Yeah, it's his try CSA where he sort of lacks.
Yes.
That last cutout, that last pass to the center or
I
winger.
think he's run first, right?
He is a great
run
ball
first.
runner. He's
Yeah.
strong, powerful, but
But if he can unlock that form that he had in 2023, Warriors will do well. It's just a matter of a lot of ifs in this team.
I just don't know about the Warriors this season. Like last season, they came 13th, pretty much with the same squad that they had coming into from 2023, and then now they lose AFB, SJ and Tohu as well. They've retired. I don't know. I don't know where they'll finish.
Need Fisher to step up, don't they? Fisher Harris.
Fisher Harris, I think you know what you're going to get with Fisher Harris. You know, he's going to bring a lot of experience. He's won 4 comps in a row.
yeah.
Um,
And Wade Egan's another one. We just skipped
Wade
over
Egan
Wade
as
Egan.
well.
So he has to stay on the pitch.
like they've got good go forward,
Yeah.
but then it's sort of when they get to that sort of 20, 30 meters out from the line, like who's gonna make that play?
Yeah, I think it has to be Metcalf and Martin. They got to really take control.
Yeah.
And be creative, and then their powerful backs. They're the ones who have to finish it off.
Like, Rocco Berry is a solid centre. Like, good in defence, good ball
Pretty
carrier.
underrated, to be honest.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Leotau, I think, is very good.
I saw him on the weekend. He's massive for a centre.
Big legs.
He could play second row. He's huge.
He's huge.
So they've got some
love him.
powerful players.
They do have
Sheck
powerful
on the
players.
wing is massive for him.
Yeah.
I think he's great on the wing. He's going to run for over 200 metres. He'll score a try.
Dallon's
You'll see
a
that
huge
footwork
loss.
again.
Yeah, he's a big
Dallon's
loss.
big, you know.
It's a huge loss.
What did he do? Break his arm or something?
Wrist, I think it was.
Yeah.
Requires surgery. My question to you guys is probably an easy one, but Chance, RTS, or Tuapiki for the fullbacks, because you read anywhere, Warriors forums, speak to them. They all
like Sheck fullback.
They all like Sheck full, but I don't know if that's a nostalgia thing or just
Is that Sheck from 2013 Sheck?
that's what I mean, or is it more of like a NPC sort of fucking a comment?
So I'm being honest here, I think Sheck will be my third choice. I like him on the wing. I think he's going to do his job on the wing. He's going to
You
make
don't like
that.
him at centre?
No, I don't like him at centre. I think he's a winger because wingers are more important these days than centres in attack. Like you're taking that first carry, that second carry, and you're the one scoring the try. So I think I like Sheck on the wing. I love Tuapiki. I think he's got a lot of talent.
I think he'll play
he's
wing.
fast. He might start on the wing.
Yeah.
And then I think you have to go with Chance as first choice. Like he played for Kiwis a few years ago.
But where's Chance's best position? Because he plays 6 for like
No, it's not 6.
internationals.
Centre or
They
fullback.
tried to play him 6 there a few times. I don't know if it worked.
Yeah.
As we said,
with
his
what they
best
needed.
asset is running.
Yeah.
It's not passing.
It must be fullback.
So it has to be fullback or
Fullback
centre.
or centre, I
Yeah.
think so.
So
But for their team, I think Chance gets first crack at the fullback.
Yeah, I think so.
If it doesn't
so.
work out, at least they got options with Tuapiki there that can slot in.
exactly.
Push him to centre because we touched on they're lacking in the centre department.
yeah.
Yeah.
My predicted finish for the Warriors. I don't want to do it to you guys. Sorry for all the fans listening across the ditch, but I'm going bottom 4.
Bottom 4.
I'm sorry, Warriors. I love yous, but I think losing Harris, SJ, and Fanua Blake, arguably 3 of your best players in the last few years. I don't know how much comes from that.
Yeah.
I feel like Fish is going to have a big year.
He has to.
His win percentage at Panthers was crazy. When you see the percentage when he's playing and he's not playing, it was ridiculous. It was a massive discrepancy. So I think he's going to be the man that's going to play with passion. He's going to lead the team with Barnett. And the fact they get to play half their games in New Zealand, outside Australia.
That's their advantage.
That's their point of difference, right?
Yeah.
Teams have to travel all the way to New Zealand and they've got to play in front of a packed out Mount Smart or wherever they play. Every game's going to be sold out. So I think they're not going to, I don't think they'll make the 8. I'm not that optimistic, but I think 9th to 13th, they will just get in, maybe that 11th, 12th spot.
Yeah.
But then again, if they were to come bottom 4, it would be down to like their halves not firing or a few injuries and stuff. So
is it their disadvantage as well, like that they have to travel so much as well as play at home? Like
it is. It's like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Yeah.
What another one as well is like they'd have all that travel plus they're going to Vegas this year, which has thrown a few teams off. Going off last year.
Yeah,
so.
You're right. But it is
it's
massive
tough.
for them.
It's a lot of travel.
If they win in Vegas, they're going to have so much confidence. They're going to be fired up.
Yeah.
So that's an important
Who do they
round
play in
1.
Vegas? Is it Sharks?
I think it's Raiders.
Raiders?
Because the blockbusters, Sharks, Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I remember it. The 2 top dogs are playing.
Makes sense.
And then Warriors, Raiders.
Cool. For your boom player, who you going, Age?
Boom player. We touched on it, RTS on the wing. I think they're going to get the best out of him on the wing. He's a powerful runner, and that one Lockett.
So I've got them finishing bottom 4.
We just skipped over.
Oh, sorry,
It's all
I
good.
missed you on there.
It's all good.
I thought you agreed with us that they're bottom 4.
Well, Age said 9 to 13.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yes, I think I've got them bottom 4. And my boom player is going to be Aaron Clark. I think he's a great replacement for Tohu. I love what he does for the Titans. I think he'll bring a lot to that already strong Warriors pack. And Aaron Clark for me.
Nice. I'm going Luke Metcalf just on the fact that in the games that he did play before his injuries and after him, he was always one of the best players on the pitch and always had an exciting style about him. Now that he's got the 7, he's got the reins to the teams. I'm keen to see how much he can fulfill that potential that everyone knows he has.
Yeah, I think just watching his trial, there's little glimpses like that kick he did. Like I don't want to harp on about it, but he was like mid 30-meter line and he nailed it, like smoked it past the 20. I didn't think he had that kicking game on him because he's got the running game, good ball player, and now he can kick. Like that's everything a half needs. So I am back in Metcalf. Fingers crossed, no injuries.
And he's got the confidence.
Yeah, and we were talking about like who's the X factor going to be for the Warriors. He might just be Metcalf.
Yeah,
with his running game.
I'm praying that he plays a full season.
Didn't we quiz him on how many games he's played? It's fuck all considering he's played like
years,
how many years he's played. So I think everyone's hoping just like give him 22 plus games this year.
Yeah,
let the kid play.
Everyone wants to see him play.
Like he's gonna break out. It's just like stay on the field. You know.
Exactly. And final one before we finish with the Warriors, Jim. A lot of people, we get a lot of DMs, a lot of comments saying that you hate the Warriors.
I don't hate.
And you haven't agenda yet. No, you don't.
I don't hate the Warriors. I actually love the Warriors, but I just don't think they'll go as well this season.
Okay.
As past seasons.
So you have nothing against them,
mate. I love them.
Yeah.
I love the fans.
Do you have
love the team?
Do you have like a personal bias that's hidden that just comes out sometimes?
Because we know you love the Roosters. You're a Cowboys fan, but you're a closet Rooster. Are you like a closet Warriors hater?
I'm not a Warriors hater, I wouldn't say.
You do cop it though on the reels and the comments.
For whatever reason, like I think any time we talk about the Warriors, I don't know, maybe what I say gets twisted.
Yeah. But you do have to put them somewhere. You got to make a call.
There's so many good teams this season. Yeah. Like unfortunately, like
there's so many teams that are just improving their squad, and like there's so many like Tigers. We'll touch on them now. Let's get straight into the Tigers, shall we?
Let's get into it.
The final team we're going to be covering is the West Tigers. They've got the three-peat the last 3 years, but on the other end of the scale, they got the spoon. So they finished 16th in 2022. You think, how can they get worse? Dolphins get added to the comp, and they finished 17th, one spot below in 2023, and they back it up again with another 17th.
Yeah.
So not good times out at Leichhardt and Balmain, whichever factor you agree with. But they've signed some great players. Take us through the recruits.
Yeah. Just before we go, the Tigers fans, if this is your last 3 seasons, you just got to rip it up and forget about it because there's a complete new roster going on here.
Yeah.
Departures, Tupou, Papali, Stefano, and Caesar, and they lost Bateman mid-year.
Yep.
But they gain Luai, Taruva, Skelton, Royce Hunt, Jack Bird, Terrell May.
Great sign.
Great recruitment. So I think whatever happened the last 3 years, this is a new page.
It's a clean slate.
Yeah, start from scratch. You got great young guns in Galvin. You got Buller there. You got Fainu. They're both Fainus. All 3 of them. You know, so Terrell May now added, talented Silver there. They got great youngsters.
Yeah, they
and
do.
I think that's the positive. So you can like, if it's not going to happen this year or the next year, maybe the 5-year plan. You know, maybe in 5 years they're making the 8.
They've got to improve this year.
Yeah, they have to improve.
They have to. With that squad, I can't see them getting another spoon.
The squad doesn't deserve to get the spoon.
No, they
based
don't.
on signings and even the signings in the recent years that are led up to this point, like getting Apasau in there and you get Samuel Afinu, and then you throw in like Adam Dewey, who's come back off multiple ACL injuries. He was like another signing just from that just came in, just because he's been out for so long. Only thing that sets me back is, can they shake the fucking hoodoo of holy shit, we're spooners.
Yeah.
We've done this 3 years in a row. It's easy to fall back in formation. But if there's anyone that's going to do it and get him out of it, it's someone like Jerome Lua, who's a serial winner and has been his whole life.
and Taruva, who's won, 3-4 comps.
Yeah, they're gonna bring, because Appy tried to bring that winning culture. You add them two, they're gonna bring it over. As you said, Luai loves winning. He's such a competitor.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be so good at nurturing Galvin, and he's
I think
gonna
he just free up Galvin so much.
like not only mentally, like all the learnings he's gonna do, but just in the game. Like Luai, we can see he can control the team. When Cleary was out, he did it perfectly. His kicking game's improved over the last few years. And then Galvin, he can run all day, Galvin, and his ball work's perfect. So great short kicking game.
We saw last year as well, like we were doing episodes, Tiger Town, get on the bus, whatever you want to call it. There was times there that everyone thought they wouldn't get the spoon, and they were just playing consistent footy, good free-flowing attacking footy off the back of Galvin, Buller. But they were missing their front rollers to grind them through their games. And I think they've gone out and that's what they've signed. Royce Hunt, big body. Terrell May, who everyone's touting him for an unbelievable season. And we know how good he is. We touched about him with the Roosters. And then you sign an experienced lock in Jack Bird, who they haven't really had that lock in recent. Like they've tried Bateman, they've tried Papali'i there, Seyfarth.
Yeah.
But they're not the modern day locks that you need for the ball playing as well.
Yeah, I think even their second rowers, like Samuel Afinu had a massive year last year.
Yeah.
He's young, he's firing. He reminds me of Olakwatu, just massive body,
Very similar,
strong runner, good late footwork.
And his combination with Galvin.
Great combo there.
Yeah.
But would Luai go left? Luai's going to go left now, right?
I believe so.
Does Finu follow Galvin or does he
don't
stay with
know.
Luai? Don't know what they'll do there.
Luai will roam the field because that's what they're paying him for. Is this is your team now? Show us how to win.
Yeah.
He's going to be first receiver on either end of the rock, and he's going to be directing him and doing it all.
Their 2 to 5 isn't the strongest, but there's still like a lot of upside in it. In Taruva, we know how good he is, one of the best wingers coming out of Penrith. Brent Naden, I mean,
I think they might go Skelton, to be honest.
yeah, Skelton's probably
He
better.
might get a run,
I
yeah.
think Skelton. But they've also got Kit Lalili.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked him.
He was
He's like
good.
a Brian Tottle mold.
Yeah.
He's
so
young.
I reckon he
He's
might
super
play
young.
as well.
Yeah.
And then, Oliman Dewey in the centres. And they've probably got room for
A
improvement.
bit of experience there. If they can regain some of their old form, they'll go a long way.
But there's a lot to like about the Tigers this year. And so, boys, $1 million question. Do you see him coming last? Yes or no?
No.
Gun to my head, no.
Yeah, I'm saying no.
Yeah, I don't have them
If they
coming
still
last.
finish in the bottom 4, I'm like, okay, whatever. They still shit. But, like, as long as they don't get the spoon, please, get the skeletons out of it.
Just get the monkey off the back.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have a decent year. They're gonna win. They're gonna win some games this year, more than a handful. I think they'll finish 9th to 13th, probably towards the lower end. If they made the 8, that'll be like a Bulldog story, even better.
Yeah. How much time are you giving Benji?
Ooh, I'm gonna give him this year.
Yeah.
The whole year?
If he gets the spoon, he's in serious trouble.
I don't think they'd even allow him to get the spoon. If they're coming last and it's mid-year, after all their signings, I think it'd be time to part ways. Just on the back of, you finished last year, bro. I'm sorry. I love you, everything you've done. And then you come in last again. Sorry. It's not with this
I feel
roster.
like if he's off that bottom 4 mid-year, he should be all right.
Yeah.
But if he finishes last towards the end of the year, or like bottom 2,
Yeah.
big question marks. Because this is a good team on paper.
On paper, it's a
You know,
great
that
team.
spine of Appy, Luai, Galvin, and Buller,
Buller.
it's
Yeah.
one of the best.
Yeah,
It's
it
not the
is.
best. It's not like a Broncos and Storm, but it's up there.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's a nice spine.
See, the question
Good
mark is,
pack as
like,
well.
we don't know how good Benji can be as a coach. Like, you might give him, let's say, 3 years just to work it out. But if he doesn't deliver in that 3 years, you've done all this time trying to rebuild that, like, you've just wasted time,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
They probably should need an experienced coach to manage all this star roster, but it's up to Tigers. See how they start.
I do think he's like a great people's manager and like a buddy and a mentor. And like Taruva was saying like how crazy it was when he met Benji Marshall. Like he was in awe, like he was in shock that he's in a room with Benji Marshall and he's going to coach him. You know, like his presence, he's definitely got respect out of the boys. It's just whether he can like set up the strategy in place and get them all humming at the right time. So I'm backing Benji to get him off the bottom.
Yeah, I've got them 9th to 13th as well.
Yeah.
So not to come last. So look, if they make the 8, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised they made the 8.
I'd be a little surprised, but not fully surprised.
Yeah.
We just know how good their halves can be. Like Galvin's ceiling is crazy. Gus Gould was saying he's going to be the richest player in like a few years.
Galvin's going to be,
like 5
he's going to
years
be one of the great halves that's ever played our game.
100%. If
He's
he
such a good
continues
player.
that trajectory he's on, and then Luai is already one of the best.
Yeah.
Appy's one of the best hookers.
And Buller, man, he's the X factor, Buller.
He is.
Like, he's such a good player.
He's your boom player, Mick, Jareen Buller.
Yeah, Buller's my boom player. I think he's been building year on year. I think we touched on it before. He's come from like a basketball background. So sometimes his decision-making is a bit unorthodox, which sometimes works in his favour. Yeah, I'm backing Buller to have a big year on the back of those halves and the spine with Appy.
Yeah, my boom player is Lockie Galvin. It's not biased because we had him on the podcast.
It's a valid one.
I genuinely think he's just going to go another level. Like, the kid has no fear. He was saying he goes in the dressing room and he's just pissing people off. He's just there to have fun. He just wants to play footy.
Yeah.
He just has no nerves. Like, that's such a great attitude. He's gonna be thriving with Luai next to him in that pack.
Yeah, I've gone Terrell May. I think he'll add a lot to this Tigers forward pack. And not only that, like he can play big minutes as well. So, you know, we've seen him play 80 minutes in the middle. No issues. So
Got a tank, eh?
he's got a good engine. So yeah, if Tigers need that in the middle, like he's their man. And you know, he's got a good offload. He can even throw a mad cutout. We saw a few of those last season.
A few try assists. And have you seen his vlogs? You're right. He's so fit. He's just like running marathons in the morning, and he's just not even sweating. It's like, bro's built different.
Great signing for the Tigers.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. So we all think 9 to 13.
Yep. All backing him to get out of that bottom 4.
Everyone think Luai's having a good year. Galvin.
I'm excited for the Tigers.
And you reckon May.
I'm excited for the bus.
It's finally a year you can be excited though. There's change for the better.
Yeah.
Like there's some good signings, you know. So I reckon there's no reason you shouldn't be excited if you're a Tigers fan.
We'll have updates on the bus as we go on.
What's the bus doing right now?
It's parked.
Well, where is it?
It's in the depot.
Yeah.
It's parked. Yeah.
Any wheels? Is it?
It's a
It's
fresh
getting
bus.
redone, yeah.
Okay.
Redone, yeah.
So spray paint and everything.
Yeah, it's in the garage, getting worked up.
That's good. Yeah. Keep us updated throughout the year.
I will.
Teams like the Tigers improving their roster is why it's going to be such an exciting comp. Them, the Rabbitohs, Eels all finished bottom 4, but all do so much to their squad where it's exciting. Tigers last year came last.
That's why it's such
Didn't
a
do
tough
much.
year. Because so many teams are improving. The big teams are slightly going down. Storm haven't really lost anyone. It's a good year. So
I'm excited.
I'm keen. I'm pumped.
Can't wait.
That's the 2025 previews. Yeah. Next week, we're just going to go over all the trials. We'll go over the All-Stars match.
It'll be pretty much straight into
Straight
the
back
footy,
into
which
it.
is
2 weeks
exciting.
away from the season.
2nd of March is Vegas. So
it's going to be exciting and we're in for a big
pumped.
season. Gnocchi's come back with her tips.
Yeah,
but before
Gnocchi's
that,
right.
big match on this weekend. We got the SportShed annual TV charity match. Us three will be coaching the Mark Hughes Foundation.
Yep.
Going up against the Goanna Academy, so Greg Inglis's charity there. It's Sunday, February 16th. The event runs all day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's plenty of action throughout the day. I'll go through some of...
Where is it? Ringrose Park, is it?
In Wentworthville.
Okay.
So tickets are $15. Cheap as chips. Can't buy much for $15 these days, but you can buy a ticket to the charity match.
But it all goes to charity, which is the best
exactly.
thing. So, you know, it's $15. It's gone to a good cause.
11:30 a.m. you start the day off with a physical disability rugby league match. 12:30 p.m. you got a Para Juniors rugby league girls match. And following that, you have the Para Junior rugby league boys.
Yep.
And then you got a little bit of a break. And then the SportShed annual charity match, the main event, warm-up and national anthem starts. So coverage from pretty much 2:30, 2:45.
Love it.
And this year they got ex-NRL players playing. Our team.
Origin NRL players.
Yeah, Origin. Did Austin play Origin?
No, Carney and Pierce did.
I feel like I can picture Austin. I don't know if Austin did.
Maybe he did.
Did he play one game?
I'll go search while you talk about that.
Have a search of Austin.
Carney and Pierce are in the opposition. So the year we leave, or we get poached by Mark Hughes to coach, they get Carney and Pierce.
Yeah.
and then we lose Dan to suspension because he smashed you. So it's all happening. Like I feel like everything's against us, but we've got some
still
strategy.
got a good team.
Never played State of Origin, Blake Austin.
He didn't.
But
he plays City Country then.
to be fair, if Pierce and Carney want to turn it on, they'll be unstoppable.
Oh, mate.
Especially someone, I'm more scared about Pierce than Carney in the sense that Pierce only retired from the game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was talks about Tigers bringing him back. Remember halfback last year or the year before, and it was just.
But we got Rando, we got Austin,
we got guns.
We've got a winning team.
We got guns.
We got a good forward pack. Yep. Darlow's scaring me in the opposition because he's a great forward. But it's going to be a good game. Come down.
Plenty of content creators. Come say hello.
I think there's a live stream available, but that's going to come later, closer to the event. Yeah. If that doesn't happen, remember $15 for a ticket. We're going to leave the link to the tickets in our description below. So if you want to check it out, even if you just buy a ticket, $15, it goes to charity. You don't turn up. At least you donate to charity.
You've done your part.
You've done your part. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be on the sidelines, hopefully winning our first charity match.
Be nice.
100%. I think I'm confident in the boys. I reckon we can get the job done. Break the hoodoo. We're like the Tigers. We're going to get that spoon off our back.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to get the W.
I hope so, for our sake.
See you there.
See you there. That's all from us. Thanks for tuning in.
From us. If not, we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you guys.